All right, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Kasha Kwala coming back at you again with another lesson, giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. All right. Here's the word master in the verb. It says to get the better of, prevail against, reduce to subjugation. All right. It goes on to say acquire complete knowledge of. Acquire complete knowledge of, overcome the difficulties of, learn so as to be able to apply or use. All right, so once you become a master, you have a certain level of wisdom and knowledge. Okay, just a synopsis of it. All right, but the basis of this lesson, as you can see from the title, or what the title is called, it says, it takes time to master humility. All right, it takes time to acquire complete knowledge of something. It takes time to overcome the difficulties of something. It takes time to learn so as to be able to apply or use, which that definition right there is wisdom. All right. It takes time in order to master certain things. It says to get the better of, prevail against, reduce to subjugation. So when you try to master the art of humility, you are trying to reduce to subjugation. What are you trying to subjugate? The pride. All right. You are trying to put it underfoot and master the art of being humble, or the art of humility. All right. I know a lot of brothers make videos, which I'm not saying they're wrong. A lot of brothers make videos on humility and telling you to be humble, which are the very edifying videos. But there's something that goes more into it. It takes time to do so. You can watch as many videos over humbleness as you can or as you want, but if you don't actually try to master the art of humility, then you're not going to be a humble individual. All right, you have to make strives to complete the art of humility, man. We're all at we're all not going to accomplish that task, um, in this day and age, but we can at least try to get close to it. We'll be perfect in the kingdom, but as of now, we're still striving to be a master. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that in First Corinthians, the third chapter, 10 verses, says, "According to the grace of the Most High, which is given unto me as a wise master builder." I'm gonna finish the verse, all right. But the point was what I just emphasized in my voice, if you could not tell. It says, "I have laid the foundation, and under and another buildeth thereon, but let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon." Now let's get the word, of course, like I emphasize, master builder. All right, master builder, and the word there is architecton, architecton. All right, and it means a master builder and architect. That's where a master builder is where you get the word architect today. It says the superintendent in the erection of buildings. All right. So if you're a master builder or architect in the spirit, you are an extreme edifier. All right. You have mastered the way of edifying somebody, but also what? All right. In order to edify, it says what is it? Let me see if I can just go ahead and get it real quick, so I'm not just you know winging it. You're not supposed to wing this. Charity edifieth. Okay, 1 Corinthians 8:1. It says, "Now as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth." If you become a master builder, you are being charitable because you're edifying. The word build or edify is banah in the Hebrew, which means to build or to erect or construct or instruct, you could say, because the word instruct means to build as well, but from the inward manner. Okay, going back to the word master build, it says a master builder and architect. So let's go back to the word master. It says to acquire complete knowledge of. Now, once you acquire, we're not going to acquire complete knowledge of anything until we get our new bodies and our new minds, until our spirit is 100% and it's not subjugated like under these chains of darkness. That's another thing. We're trying to master these chains of darkness that we're in, meaning reduce it to subjugation, meaning get the hell up out of them. All right. and we don't have to be in bonds anymore via the flesh. All right, we're trying to master this side, and once you master it, you become a full spirit, 100% spirit. All right, but we're not there yet. But we're trying to acquire the knowledge, the complete knowledge of mastering that, and part of that is mastering the art of humility. All right, so it says overcome the difficulties of. All right, with humility, the difficulties is swallowing, quote unquote, your pride. Not really, quote unquote. That's exactly what it is. You must swallow your pride. All right. If you shouldn't have any in the first place, but hey, we're in the flesh. It seeps in. It's the most sneaky, sly, conniving demons, type spirit out there. The spirit of pride. Nobody should have. It's demonic for us. Nobody should have pride other than Yahweh. He's the only one who can exercise that type of characteristic. We are not to be that way. Okay? So it says overcome the difficulties. So swallowing the pride. All right? Becoming an individual who's, you could say, prideless. Okay? All right? Who's prideless. Okay? So going to say, it says learn so also as to be able. So you have to learn to be able, and being able, you have to be willing to exercise a standard of humility. Okay, we're gonna get an example of how someone was able to exercise humility. All right, it says to apply or use, and also to apply and use it. Okay, so we're gonna go to Philippians, the 2nd chapter, real quick. Philippians 2:5. It says, "Let this mind be in you." I'll start at 1, matter of fact. Philippians 2:1. If there be any consolation in Yahushua Mashiach. All right. So consolation is like a calling. If any comfort of love, if any fellowship of the Spirit, the word fellowship means an association with. So if you're associated with the Spirit, if any bowels and mercies, fulfill ye my joy. All right. That you be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord and of one mind. Okay. Yes. Fulfill you my joy. How do you fulfill the joy of Paul? All right. By doing what he said in if there be anything, like he said in the first verse, in what he said after, fulfill ye my joy. Be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord and of one mind. He said 3 things. He said one thing in 3 different ways. And that's just being in a unified state of mind. Okay. It says, verse 3, let nothing be done through strife or vainglory. Now, when you go into the word vainglory, it means empty pride. Strife also means, contention or fightings. Okay, so vainglory, kenodoxe, if I'm pronouncing that right. Kenodokes, let's see it. Esau, come on.
Strong's G 2754. Kenodoxia. Kenodoxia.
I said kenodoxe. It's kenodoxia. Okay, so it says vainglory, groundless. Groundless. If you're groundless, meaning like, I'm too high up on a pedestal to come down. It says self-esteem, meaning you're selfish as hell. You're only about yourself. It says empty pride or vain opinion. We already know what the scriptures say about vain opinions. They don't fucking matter. Excuse my Swahili, but that's just what it is. It says empty pride. Bro, nothing. Stop. All right, you just stop. All right. Pride ain't the way to go. All right. But in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. All right. That's how you're supposed to look at each brother. Continuing, it says, verse 4, look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Okay. So verse 4, don't get it misconstrued of like, F your possessions. No, it says, look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Yes, you are supposed to keep up with yourself, but you are also to keep up with the others. It's not disregard everything that you have, but just have an eye out for everybody else as well in the ministry that are pushing with you, that are, fellow laborers or, or whatnot. A fellow laborer, like he speaks of, I think in the next chapter over, he speaks of an individual who was a fellow laborer who was very sick. I forgot his name. All right, continuing, it says, verse 5, it says, let his mind be in you, let this mind be in you, which was also in Yahushua HaMashiach. So Yahushua, he had all of these characteristics. And when you put all these characteristics into one, you come up with one word. And what is that? Humble. It's humility. All right? Being like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, being of one mind, not having any strife or vainglory, lowliness of mind, a fellowship of the Spirit, a comfort of love, any bowels and mercies. That's humility. When you put all that into one jar and you mix it all up and you pour it out, you're going to get humility. All right? So verses 1 through 4, Paul is expressing a high level of humility to be practiced by us. Okay? He wouldn't be saying this if he wasn't executing this as well. Matter of fact, let me go to the next chapter real quick. It says, finally, my brother rejoice. I'm going to read the first verse and go back. It says, finally, my brother rejoice in the Lord to write the same things to you, to me indeed is not grievous. Why was it not grievous for Paul? Because he was already practicing it. All right. He says to write the same things to you. To write the same things, meaning he wrote these to the Thessalonians, to the Galatians, to the Colossians, to Philemon. Well, Philemon was part of the Colossian, if I'm not mistaken. And to, you know what I'm missing. To the Corinthians, okay, to the Romans and the Hebrews. All right, he wrote the same things. He says, to me indeed is not grievous, because he was practicing it. He says, but for you, it is safe. It's not grievous to me because, look, I wrote this to everybody else and I practice it myself, but you may need to hear this so it is safe for you to hear this. For me, I already know, and I'm going to continue to do it. I'm just relinquishing this information to you to become what? A master at it, to acquire complete knowledge of it. I'm giving you, I'm putting you on game so you can apply it or use it. All right? I'm trying to get you to be a master. That's all Paul was trying to do, okay? So continuing in verse 5, it says, let this mind be in you, which was also in Yahushua HaMashiach, who being in the form of a God or a power, all right, when you look this up, let me see, it should be the word theos. Yep, it is the word theos, which means what? Or theos is like a theater, all right? So it says a god or goddess, let's cross that out. A general name of deities or divinities. It says the Godhead and Trinity. Okay, let's pick the bones out of things. We understand there's separate entities, but let's continue. It says let's see, whatever can in any respect be likened unto the Most High, resemble him in any way. God's representative or vicergerent, if I'm saying that right, a magistrate or judges. So theos is a power, all right? Okay, so it says, who being in the form of a god or a form of a power, thought it not robbery to be equal with the Most High. Yes, he said, me and my Father are one. The Spirit came down on him in a bodily form, like a dove in a bodily form, and he had all power. Yahushua said, if I want to, I can bring 12 legions of angels. One legion is 6,000 troops. He could bring 12 legions of angels down here and just decimate this place if he wanted to. But he was practicing and mastering the art of humility. He didn't have to do that. Okay? He didn't make himself equal with Yahweh, even though Yahweh gave him all power in the form of a man in the flesh. Verse 7, it says, but made himself of no reputation. All right? And you see, I emphasize that we're going to focus on this first part. All right? But for the sake of it, I'm going to finish this scripture. It says, and took upon him the form of a servant. All right? And was made in the likeness of men. All right? He came back in the flesh and took ibad. That's the Hebrew word for servant, ibad. He became a minister. He washed the disciples' feet. He even washed the feet of a man who betrayed him. who he knew was going to betray him. That's humble. That's actually applying and being a master of humility. All right? He was able to do that. Now, I want to get the word made in this. All right? The word made is kino. Kino. Let's see what Esau says.
Strong's G 2758. Kinao.
Kinao. And it means to make empty. Of Yahushua, he laid aside equality with or the form of the Most High to make void, deprive, or force. He deprived himself of any type of pride. Okay? It's like dehydrating yourself, not giving yourself water. It's like a fast. Okay? You got to fast from pride. All right? And totally eliminate it out of your diet, your spiritual diet. It says render vain, useless. All right? Of no effect, to make void, cause a thing to be seen, to be made to be empty, hollow. Hollow meaning like, it's hollow. I don't know how to explain that. You should know what that means. It says, or false. All right? It's going on to the strongest definition. It says to abase. All right? Base meaning you come down low. It says neutralize. All right? Neutralize. When you neutralize an animal. All right? They become of a limp type state. You sterilize them. All right? You hit them with a tranquilizer. Now they're neutralized. All right? And no reputation. Okay? So let's get the word made in the etymology online to get the full essence of this word. Because this word is or to make. Let's see made first. Let's see what this is. Hit and foe. All right. So it says made. All right. Created, wrought, fabricated, or constructed. He was the Lord put him in a vessel and fabricated himself and constructed him to practice a form of humility and master that form. Yahushua was the ultimate humble person on the earth. Who else would get up on a cross for people who wanted you dead and then give them the chance and save their lives, save their souls, give them a chance to repent? Who else would do that? You got to be a humble individual in order to take on that task. Okay? All right? So it has the word wrought in that. And when you go into the word wrought, it means to work. All right? So let's get the word wrought real quick. I'm telling you, man, you could tell a brother to be humble all day or long, whatever. But you better tell a brother to master it, to work for it, to apply it, to gain full knowledge of it. You can make a video all day. I'm not saying it's bad to make, video. I'm making a video right now on humility. But you got to tell people it takes time to master this thing. You don't become a master overnight, or you don't become a master after one brother tells you to be humble. Hey, bro, be humble. I'm humble now. No, it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to put the work in it. Here's the word wrought, which is an adjective. It's like explaining something. All right, so I'm going to go to the word work. It says something done. When you're working, you have to do it. It's something that is to be done. This is going all the way back to the word made. So when you read Philippians 2 in 7, when he says he made himself of no reputation, he worked to get to no reputation. Yahushua did. He worked to become the most humble individual ever. All right? And that's the same thing we have to do. The scriptures say we have to work we have to labor, which is another form of work to enter into that rest, which it says in Hebrews 4:11. We got work to do. And one of the works to do is to work into being a humble individual, to be a master at that. All right? To get the full knowledge of being a humble servant. All right? It says something done, discreet, act performed by somebody or someone. An action. It's an action. You got to put it to work. All right? Proceeding, business. It's a business, man. We're businessmen in this truth. You got to put in the work. You got to invest your time into being a humble individual and a master. You don't go into karate, start with a white belt, And the next day you're a master black belt. The fuck out of here. You got to put the work in, and it takes years of repetition and years of losing. Real shit, because I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm going to say it clear. I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It takes time. You go in as a white belt, and I had to spar. I'm not trying to boast or brag or anything, but when I went in, I caught on quickly, and in the dojo, they noticed, and they set me apart from the white belts and the blue belts or whatnot, and they put me with the purples, the brown, and the black belts to practice with them. I got my ass kicked every single day. You may think getting your ass kicked is a bad thing. No, but you learn from it, god dang it. I'll tell you that. Every single day I learned a new form of how to choke someone out or how to break an arm, break a leg, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is. Let's just say it like that, okay? I learned every day a new technique, even though I got my ass kicked. But I had to put the work in to master and get to a certain level to be good at the craft. All right, it says that which is made or manufactured, products of labor, physical labor, toil, skilled trade, a craft, like I just said, or occupation. Ooh, it says occupation. All right, so we have to master our occupation, and what comes with the occupation is being humble. It takes time to master humility. It doesn't come overnight. You have to actually put the work and labor in. It says opportunity. The word opportunity means a chance for advancement, of extending of expending labor in some useful or remunerative way, if I'm saying that correctly. Okay? That's it. That's it. You got to be an architect when it comes to applying this humility, man. You got to edify and build to apply this humility. And it takes time to build something. So it's going to take time to master the art of humility. If all you're doing is watching videos on humility, okay, that's cool. But listen to what the brother is saying in that video and go out and apply it. Find the scriptures and apply it every single day, man. Not only to the brothers, everyday life, everyday walk. Random people may come up to you asking you a sincere question. Do you just blow them off? No. That's showing an ounce of pride. Right? A little leaven up the whole lump. A little ounce of pride will get you a swift missile. Just a little bit. Take it out of you. Master the art of humility. The word master is to make something subjugate. All right? Or make something in subjection to you. Subject pride. Okay? And master the art of humility. All right? Lord willing, this was edifying. All right? Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, HaKakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. Brother Kashakwala. Until next time, I want to say Shalom.